rest of housekeeping, I will go ahead and share my screen. That we wanted to go over meeting etiquette again, just to start the new semester. We asked that your camera be on and there's no multitasking, and you please be engaged because this is shared time. Everybody's here and they want to work. So please observe that and be respectful and work as well. And in breakout rooms, please add to the conversation. And, you know, one person can kind of bring down the energy. So if you just get energized and you get ready to work, then we'll have a productive meeting. And then also to go over again, team dynamics, which is in docs and files. Some of the big notes were just, we want everybody to be on the same page. That's what everybody wanted. To communicate, and that includes listening, to stay on topic, to make it a judgment-free zone in committees, to split the workload and remember that nobody's perfect. Like sometimes it can be hard for people to stay on topic and stuff. So just remember that whatever you hold others to, you must hold yourself to that standard. So that is a good reminder. And then also don't forget to send this letter to your principals. Better late than never. Make sure you send it in so you can get excused, so you can come back. And then absence request forms again. Those are in docs and files under resources, right in here. So don't forget to fill those out. Those are really, really appreciated when you fill those out ahead of time before the meeting. It lets us know, and you don't have to text us that you'll be gone, but that's also a good thing. So yeah, that's basically housekeeping. The next thing we have.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask a question to the group. I wanted to ask you all, as we were going over those group dynamics and etiquette and so forth, how did you feel about that? Did that kind of feel like a drag? How did that resonate for you as we were going through that?
I felt like it was really needed, so it didn't feel like we were like wasting time or anything, and it was a good like refresher to like keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah. Thank you. What else? Good, Kayla. Thank you. It really is. So the reason I think it's really important is because those are the skills needed to be good at this sport. And I know that's a weird way to think of it, but if we think of philanthropy or working cooperatively with others as a sport, then these are how to be good at it. These practices are how to be good at it. And if you've ever been with somebody who doesn't know how to play that sport, it's just kind of a waste of time. It kind of, why are we doing this? We could be doing other things. Do you know what I mean? Anybody head nods? Let me know what you think. So I just want to circle in on that, because if you can do these things, if you can get other people to do these things, you will always be needed. Always, always, always.
I think we can move on then to our Kahoot. Yes, I said Kahoot with all the tacky music. I'm gonna see if I can like screen share the music too, because like it's not a Kahoot without the music. But we made some of the like guess who questions into a Kahoot. Rules are, if you are one of the answer choices, go ahead and still play, but like don't tell anyone if it's not you. Like that defeats the purpose. So yeah, I hope this works right. But yeah, pull up Kahoot. I will share my screen. I hope this works well. This is a new method that we're trying.
Could you put the link in the chat?
Hopefully maybe. No, you usually go to kahoot.it and then you plug in the PIN number.
I'm gonna crush it. My third game ever.
And everyone, drop in the chat if you're still trying to get on. I'm gonna take that as a yes and start the game. I think you should still be able to join after it starts. Yeah, it was Krish. I was really surprised too. And I was like, 5 times? Because that's a lot. But yes, it was Krish.
Everybody thought it was Ashlyn.
I can't get through the
Wow.
first season, so no, it's not me.
That's absolutely terrifying. Like, I could never do that.
What happened? How did that happen?
Wow, Emily.
Oh no, Emily's
My
not in the
God.
lead. Leah took it.
Well, Wow, they all stayed the same. Wow. Honestly, it sounds like something I would do. I'm so clumsy, but I have not sprained my ankle on a boat.
Actually, 360, but
Congratulations, guys!
We took Emily down, which was not the intent, but it happened.
Kind of passive aggressive. Thank you, Ria. Thank you. Ria,
Everybody's a winner.
it says future on my screen, future top 5 in the making. I feel like that's a little condescending. But it's okay. I'm not gonna let it ruin the meeting for me.
Well, we just wanted to start off with something a little fun. So that was our Kahoot of Guess Who questions. Again, as long as you guys keep sending me them, we're gonna keep having these like small little activities, and I'm gonna try and figure out like different ways to present it. So it's kind of been, it was fun making that Kahoot. I was making the Kahoot in school and someone like walked by and they were like, "Why are you making a Kahoot with people?" And I was just like, it's for YPI. But yeah, so we're gonna move into committee time. But before we do that, Emily and Adam kind of wanted to talk about a new way of organizing our stuff. So if you guys want to kind of take over.
Before we do that, Emily will talk about that mainly because it's organizing and I'm allergic. So real quick, I wanted to see, what did you guys think of the activity?
It was super fun. I loved it.
I still can't believe Krish has watched Vampire Diaries 5 times.
Because the first 4 weren't enough.
I want to know who his favorite character is then.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I was hoping that nothing goes wrong because like I've never screen shared a Kahoot before. So I'm glad it like went smoothly and I figured out how to share my audio too. So that was great. But yeah, Emily, do you want to kind of take over?
I do. I'm trying to fix something real quick. Okay, but I'm ready, I think. Hi guys. Hey, we're going to, I'm going to show you some stuff that you've probably seen me do like on a whiteboard, or if you haven't, then you're about to see it. This is the first time I've kind of done it through tech. But before I start and show you what I'm working with, I want to do a quick little hand survey. Who uses, like, actually uses TikTok? Does everyone use TikTok, or is it like not anymore? Okay, so I want you to get your phone. I'm assuming you have it handy. And then I want you to, within TikTok, I want you to look up the hashtag Notion. Unless you've already seen it. I just put what I'm talking, I put the text in the chat box there. And just take a minute to like look around. And Adam, for those of you who don't have TikTok, you should just Google TikTok Notion. Ah, Sterling says, yeah, she saw TikTok about it, but it confused me.
I tried to use it, but it didn't work out for me.
Really? So the reason that I'm having you get some of you, like a couple more of you, like, yeah, oh, very aesthetic. Unmute yourself and explain like maybe what you're seeing or what you think it's about.
Maybe like a to-do list. It's probably more complicated than that, but I saw some like check marks and lists.
Yeah. A website planner, a blog for yourself, Caleb says. Yeah, it's very aesthetic. Yeah. So can you guys see how many views some of those videos have? What numbers are you seeing? I'm just curious. I don't have TikTok. I just saw an article about it. So yeah, 1.4 million. Yeah. So this one has 500,000. Yeah. So, I mean, I realize TikTok, probably there are videos that go way more viral than 1.4 million, I'm sure. But this app, this tool that I'm using, we actually started using it like 2 years ago. A guy named Nate, who's a Booker T grad from Cohort 11, introduced it. And I have wanted to text him to be like, you are so ahead of the trend. Anyway, Notion went kind of viral on TikTok this last week. And there's some other, I think, kind of apps that are similar to it, but it went viral basically because people are saying, you know, because of virtual learning, students are trying to organize their life basically in a really aesthetic way. Whoever said very aesthetic. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting. I didn't know that before I made this, but I just basically wanted you to sort of know a little background of this app. And then if you want to use it for your personal life, it's a new tool. So, okay. But for our purposes in YPI, the sense that we have moving into this semester is that we need something that Rhea and Kate, your co-facilitators, can manage that centralizes everything we're doing. So we introduced you to some concepts like the Kanban board, which we've got on Miro, and this incorporates that within a timeline. So I'm going to post a link for everybody to pull it up in the chat. And also I'll screen share for a minute, but just because I don't know, but I like to sort of have both sometimes if you have a screen large enough to like split. But this is a link to what you're looking at is I called it the Cohort 13 Kanban timeline. And so just to sort of pull it up and orient yourself to what you're seeing, I'm gonna screen share too, so I can use my mouse. Across the top horizontally are the months remaining in this semester, okay? And then, so each column represents a month, and then you can move this is a Kanban basically embedded in it. So these are things I plugged in from what I saw on Miro, so it can be edited if it's like something, oh, we've already done that or whatever. But just to go a little bit deeper, if we focus in here on January, if you're Rhea or Kate or potentially co-facilitators next year, what you're looking at is, okay, here are all the things that our cohort is working on this month. And to go even further, I've color coded it, right? So you can see here, if I click on this, the to-do is to finalize the partner criteria. And if I click on tags here, I've made partnerships as the group that owns that. And you can go in and embed a due date if you say, okay, we want it to be due by next Friday. And then I can even add some notes here. Oops, yeah, okay. So, and then once this is done, I can either delete it, or if we say, okay, you know what, we haven't gotten to that this month, I'm gonna move it to February and we'll work on it then. Or this is another example, clarify the role of product committee. I put on this one that everybody kind of owns this. This sounds like maybe something as a group we need to discuss. And what this does is it prompts Rhea and Kate to know, hey, that's a thing that we need to do. Okay, I'm gonna stop my screen share for a minute and just ask you all a couple of questions about this. The first one is, does it make sense? And then the other is, do you think that it's helpful? And I'd like to hear from a couple of people.
I think it really helped us stay like on a path and not like, know what we need to do in order to not go and like, we tend to like circulate a lot and go back to stuff and like forget stuff. So I think it would help us like know what our path is, and so we can like stick to that or like deviate when we need to. But other than that, we can like, centralize at that point so we can get to our focus and finish the project.
Yeah. Anybody else? It's okay if you don't like it too. Like, any feedback is okay. Yeah, I like the ones at the top. Yeah, cool. Thanks for the comments, guys. So the way that I envision this working, and the way that I think it's been successful with past cohorts, is that you all as cohort members don't own anything except for the to-dos that you give to Rhea and Kate. So I'm not introducing like a new thing you have to manage on top of Miro and Basecamp and Notion and Gmail and all that stuff. Although I know you're fully capable of it. This is a tool for co-facilitators, but everybody should, like, any of you could be in a position to be running a group, and this would be a great tool. But how I see us using it is before each meeting, or maybe at each Sunday progress session, Rhea and Kate pull it up and we look at it together, and you, the individual, can be thinking, okay, does that look like something my committee's still working on? Hey, Rhea, let's move that to February, or we actually finished that already, let's take it off the list. And then while you're in committee, each committee's job is to be identifying those to-dos, so that when Rhea and Kate check in with you, you can say, hey, here are the 4 things that we want to add to the to-do list, or to the Kanban, or the timeline, whatever you call it, the master list, whatever. And they'll be the ones that upload it and categorize it and sort of like create it as our centralized guide. So all you do in the committee is know what your to-dos are, communicate those to your co-facilitators, and that's it. Does that make sense? And it's really pretty simple, a really simple tool, but that can really be transformative to how efficient we can be with a project. Cool. I'm going to try to pull up one. I think I've shown you it before, but just so you can see one that's maybe like a little more developed. Have I ever shown you the one that Cohort 11 used? No? Okay. I think you can find that pretty quickly. Possibly. Feel free to vamp anybody while I'm looking for it. Did you guys know there's a search feature in Basecamp? Sorry, guys. I should have had it pulled up in another tab. Okay, well, TBD. I'll show it to you later when I can find it. Any questions or any other feedback? This is the first time that Rhea and Kate are, well, they saw it through the link, but this is the first time they've seen me like kind of talk through it. So I'm actually curious, Rhea and Kate, what feedback as co-facilitators do you guys have about this?
I definitely think this will help with our committee to co-facilitator communication, getting those tasks directly from them. That way we're aware of exactly what's going on. Because sometimes like someone will ask us like, oh, what did my committee do during the meeting? And we're not entirely sure because we weren't there to see the task being done. So getting that, maybe making that a routine, like, okay, at this time every Sunday, like 3:45, that's when we go into each committee and get their tasks, or at the beginning of the meeting. So I feel like this will help improve our communication.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Okay, all right, I found it. I want to show it to you real quick, just because I think it's cool to see one that's a little bit more, just further down the road. Okay, so this is what Cohort 11 had kind of toward the end. So if you see here, their months on the top, and then they've got some different things. They built in more notes, and they even embedded like some documents here too. So that's another great use for it. There's a to-do thing you can embed. And then over here are hidden columns you can see. So these would be like the past ones. So this would be August to December of last year. So you can still go and see what have we accomplished, but you can hide it so that it doesn't clutter your view. And then even further down, they went like all in with, here are the committees. Here are some important documents and links. Anyway, that's just how they utilized it. It's helpful to see. So, okay, cool. Well, what I think we're doing from here, Rhea and Kate, is going into committee time, which means that for each of the groups, one of the things that you all need to accomplish is identifying what needs to be plugged in here to the timeline. That also means maybe you guys pull it up together and see what I've already like transposed over there from the Kanban and Miro. And if it doesn't apply anymore, make note of that so Rhea and Kate can take it off. Does that make sense? And I think you can be as specific as possible. This is where we're getting down. If you remember Adam's gears and going from a strategy all the way down to an action step, that's where we're at with these to-dos. These are action steps. So make them small, make them, and make them specific, not something like, think about potential partners. Well, you do need to do that, but maybe a better way to phrase that would be identify 3 to 5 potential partners. See how those are the same thing, but one is specific and measurable. And those are what we want here. So, okay. Any questions? Nope. Okay, cool. Rhea, Kate, anything before committee time?
Nope. We'll be going in to talk to product a bit, but other than that, we'll kind of go around to each committee and talk about their tasks once they kind of get chugging away.
Okay. Actually, do you want to leave product here? We could just.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right.
I want to say this, what you guys just observed, that's how you're going to get committees organized or teams or groups organized. It takes somebody to do this level of thinking. Otherwise, what happens is groups will just kind of mill about. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen that? Like, without a clear direction, people won't do anything. So organizing people, it's an invisible thing, like people don't really notice it, but it is actual leadership. The act of organizing people requires leadership. It takes somebody to say, okay, I'll do it. If somebody appoints you to do it and says, do it, that's not leadership. If somebody's saying, hey, we need to get organized, here's what I propose, and you have tools now. You guys are learning all these tools. So anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna send you guys into breakout rooms. If you have any questions, ask for help and we can come and help. But other than that, just let's get into it and be productive and remember our etiquette and our group dynamics. Yeah, okay. Hello, everybody in product.
I can't tell who's in product and who's frozen. Like, Kate, Sterling, Krish, Leah, and Allie. Okay. Wiggle your head.
Sam and Surya are always frozen.
Yeah, they should be out any minute now. Yeah, so we just kind of wanted to talk. I know there was some concerns about product not knowing their role anymore since the website has kind of been made. So kind of talking about what should product do next, what are next steps for the product committee. So do you guys have any ideas of what you guys could still do in this existing committee? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Or maybe even like what the focus of a product committee would be. Because if we can't thoroughly answer that question, then it tells us more that maybe we don't need a product committee, but I don't know. So let's talk through that. What would the focus of the product committee be now?
So last meeting, we did try to go into the website and like make edits or add, like take some of the information that content had gathered and add it to this this website we've kind of made. But for some reason, we couldn't figure out how to get access to the website. And so we didn't know if maybe the Wix had like expired or something, or if that happens. And since Krish wasn't able to be at the meeting last week, we weren't able to ask him. So we were just going to kind of wait and see and try to figure that out today.
Gotcha. Okay. Thinking, Krish, do you know the answer to that question?
Yeah, I'm checking right now just to see if I can log in.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. What else? I mean, just thinking a little bit bigger picture, like zooming out a little bit, when we originally created the four committees, we have partnerships, PR, product, and content. What did you all understand like the focus of the product group to be?
I thought, so whenever when we were product and we made like the website, I know we had like the discussion whether like we would put in the actual like content of it or if we would have each group do that. And I can't remember what we decided, but I feel like product would still be like a good committee to have to like go back in and clean all that up and make sure it like looks nice and kind of like finalize the product.
Okay, yeah, just kind of like managing the upload of that and the look. Okay. Anybody else?
I agree with Kate. I think that it's really important that we still participate in trying to like organize the website, or I think one of the things we were going to try to do last meeting is figure out how to approach like the color scheme, because whenever, I think it was right before we took a break, a few of us went and met with each of the other committees, like went into their breakout room. And I think I was with PR and they were like narrowing down on a few options of color schemes. And I think they ended up deciding on either one or two, or narrowing it down to one or two. And so that was one of the things that we were going to try to do, was try to go in and kind of organize it according to that color scheme. And I think that that's something we still could do. So if like the other committees are making these decisions, we, like Kate was saying, could actually go in and help organize all of this content.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so I've just been taking notes while you're talking. Like, so it sounds like product group creating the website, managing it, curating it a little bit. Adam, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of step back a little bit and say, what is the product? So I want to open that up. So let's just start me off. How would you say what the product is?
Would the product just be like a website that like links? It would just be like the website that links to like other organizations for like help and resources.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the website. Let's start there. And to link people to resources, yeah, as you guys tell me, is that part of the product?
So content was going to be coming up with, I know they wanted to also add maybe products. I kind of reviewing or talking about personal experiences or finding other people that have, and just linking them with like one resource to take them to all the others, like just one centralized location.
So your website is a central hub that would take me to other places?
I believe so. I believe that's the general idea.
Yes, I mean, this is actually really good to like really get we should really get a handle on what the product is. I agree that right now the product is a website, but that doesn't describe it enough, because different websites represent very, very different things. Like Facebook's a website, but that's a whole different type of product than Wirecutter, or, most websites are just informational or this or that. Different websites do different things. So that's only the beginning of describing your product. And what we want to do is describe its function and what does it do and how do we know it's doing it well? To what class of products does it belong to? And how do we know we're doing a good job within that class of products? So the reason I'm bringing this up is because just because someone's populating the website with colors or with articles does not mean that they're managing the product. So the other committees are working on the websites. Does that mean that they're owning the product and you don't own the product anymore? I want to know what the product is, and I don't think we know exactly yet. And I think that's what we need you for. What is the product and how will it be used? Yes, it's a website, but it's a website. Does it take you to other websites? Does it bring information to you? Is it a portal that's like, here, you want to listen to this, or you want to do that? I mean, think about how you want people to use it, and how are you going to know if that's going to work? This idea of if you build it, they will come. I don't think that's really I don't really want you to follow that. I want you to build something based on what people need, and that, find out where people will go and then build that. Don't build it and then hope people come to it, because that's a whole lot of wasted energy. You'll see it in life. You'll just see it. You'll be like, wow, that's not the best way to do it. Just because it sounded good and it was a good idea in your mind, that wasn't enough validation to say it was a good idea. Unless you're the only consumer of that idea, then you're the only audience that matters. But we want other people to use this, right? We want teens to use this. You don't want to flop. You don't want to build something that nobody comes to. So you want to build something that really engages. And how are you going to do that? I'll stop there. That's a lot of stuff.
No, that was really good, Adam. Okay, guys, I took down, there are a couple keywords, 2 words that stand out to me in what he said. One is function, and the other is the user. Because those are kind of the two things we need to clarify, I think, as a committee. And actually, this puts you guys more in the driver's seat of the whole project in a way, right? Because in a way, the other committees are supporting what you all as a committee are doing. Because if you're owning what's the function of our website and who is the user and how do we make those compatible, then if you can articulate that, find that out, then you tell everybody else, hey, here's what we need. Like, does that make sense? So I'm actually well, let me put a question to you all. How do you think what are some steps you could take to find out what the function of the site should be and who the user should be?
I think being clearer and communicating with content more would be helpful to find out kind of what they're working on, what they're wanting to put on the website, because knowing what exactly will go on the website will help us to better organize it and figure out how we want it to function and also all of the aesthetic things.
Sure, yeah. I think the communication piece is a good point, but actually see it in a different order, rather than you all going to content and saying, what are you making to put on the website, is you all articulating what the website needs, and then you go to content and say, here's what we need. Does that make sense?
Yes, and like Adam, kind of what you said of just taking a step back and looking at the project as a whole instead of focusing on these super small little details. I do think that's really important. And so, Emily, I was just gonna kind of say what the point that you just made of, if we could go ahead and basically design the website and figure out what we think we need, then we could go to content and ask them if they could find these specific things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would say when you do that, exactly, go all the way back and say, who is going to use it and why? What are some examples? Try to think of a student, a situation, and what would lead them to come to your website and what a successful experience would look like on your product. And try to think of different, 3 or 4 of those really likely, reasonable kind of users, who they might be, and what would they be looking for on the website? What would cause them to even be looking for it? Or would they have to go looking for it? Is part of the way your website, where your product gets distributed, is you go into schools and you do little campaigns and you make them aware of this product? So I want you to really take a step back, and I encourage you to do that and really think about, what is this product? What is it? I know it's a website, but don't just lock it into that. Think of it as something somebody's going to use for a specific purpose, a use case. What are the use cases for your website? Am I going to come there if I'm at my last resort, my wit's end? Am I going to come, think about how, am I going to Google mental health, and are you guys going to show up on the front page? How are people going to get to you? How will they know you exist? That should be part of your design of the product. They have to know about it, and it has to be something that would be useful. In fact, I could tell you 5 criteria that's well known in research and sociology. It has to be, it has to have a comparative advantage. That's the first one. It has to be better than think about it, compared to other things I need for whatever my need is. I'm going to pick the best option, right? You need a pair of shoes. Which shoes are you going to get? The ones that have the comparative advantage. And usually it's either for a function, like who makes the best track shoe, or it's going to be what's going to make me the most socially acceptable among my peers. But that's the advantages. You decide you need to know what the advantages are of your users. What do they consider to be an advantage? That's number 1. Number 2 is compatibility. So let's say you build a website, but it's only usable on an iPhone. It's not usable on an Android. It's not usable or compatible. So your website has to be compatible. If teens aren't going onto websites, they're only going to TikTok, then maybe, So that's the second thing, is, did I say compatibility? The third is complexity. If it's too complicated, I'm not going to understand it and I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to take the time to learn about it. Does that make sense? And think about it for yourself when you make decisions as you become more and more consumers, you know? You're like, all right, what of the things I could buy, do I want to spend my money on the worst thing? No, I want to spend my money on the thing that's the most advantageous. That's the first one. Do I want to spend the money on thing that won't fit? Like I could buy the shoes, they're great, but I don't have any outfits to match them. Not compatible. Third thing, complexity. Is it too hard to understand? Well, then forget about it. Fourth is observability. Can I observe the benefits? So you see other products will show, hey, I use this thing and I gained 5 inches in height or whatever. I don't know. I lost a bazillion pounds or whatever. I made $1 million. Observable. Can you make it observable for people to see why your product is worth it? And the fifth one, tryability. It's a weird word. Can I try it without penalty? You know, is there no, or if I sign up and then you're going to bombard me with emails and I don't want to sign up, that kind of thing. Or you're going to sell my email address. You know, can you make it tryable? Can I try it without any major commitment? So those 5 things are how ideas spread. It's called diffusion of innovations. It's, I studied it in graduate school. It's kind of cool, but it explains how do ideas grow? How do ideas spread? And these are the 5 criteria. Does that make sense? So let me see what you guys think of that. Or how would you apply those 5 things to what you're doing?
It's a hard question to answer.
So I would say maybe begin by saying, well, what are the advantages? To go one by one. What are the advantages that we need to provide in this product? What would people be coming to it for? If you can't answer that, then you don't know, you know, it's hard to build the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would make it compatible with teens' lives? Who's your audience and what would make it compatible with them? And what would be incompatible that you need to avoid? What would be compatible? How do you guys consume websites? How do you find out about websites and what makes you go to a website? Or are our websites not even really a factor for you guys that much? Complexity. How could you make it so that anybody can understand, I heard about your product and I know exactly what it's for. And I know, and it's easy to use. I don't have to figure it out. It's super easy. It's intuitive. Observability. How could you get people to say, you know what? I can see the benefits of using it without trying it. So that will make me want to try it. Like I can see it. So it's gonna make me want to do it. So there's that one. And then tryability, I'm not that worried about for you guys. I don't think it's that big of a deal to let people try it. It's a website, it's easy to try, but they have to know about it. So you have to get them to try it. And that's where you might want to find a way to go into schools and get people to pull it up on their phones or something like that. Or like think about this. This is just my brain is weird. And so if it's stupid, just forgive. But let's say part of your product is you go into schools and you go to classrooms and you say, hey guys, we want to introduce you to this thing. We want to talk to you a little bit about mental health or discussing the undiscussables. So we're going to do a little Kahoots. And then here's some mental health quiz, blah, 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 blah. Great. Now, if you find yourself interested in these issues or ever needing it, go to this website. You know, last Kahoot question, which website is the best website for these kinds of issues? And then it'll be 4 options and they're all the same and it's your website. And then you're getting people to know about it. So you got to build a product they want, and then you got to get them to know about it. So that's your challenge as product. And I'll stop there. I'm taking up all your time and I'm talking too much.
I want to help. I think I want to make sure you guys have a minute, because what Adam has just like those are like really big ideas and really like to help guide you. So I want to help you take them into like, what can we now go as a committee and do? Okay. So I'm going to propose a couple of things. Okay. So rather than going from that to like, how are we going to build a website? I want you to pause on that. Just pause on the Wix stuff for today or for Sunday or for whatever. Press pause. You have plenty of time to develop that. But don't build something until we define these other things. So here are a couple of ideas, and you guys take them and run with them, okay? One is, I think that you could literally make like a document where you all collaborate and answer these questions. And then you present it to the cohort and say, hey, we've thought through more in depth what our product is, and we've answered these questions about it. You could use those 5 innovations to answer those questions like Adam suggested. Or you could maybe just say like, what's the function of our website? Who's the user? Another thought is you all could survey potential users. Make a survey, send it out to people, get some data on how you think your peers would use. Let them tell you what to build, like Adam said. That's a simple task that you all could do. And then you've got data to support whatever you build, which is even better. Or you could make like a document that says that, like, if you said, okay, if we were going to meet as a group with a professional developer in 6 months, how would we communicate to him or her what we want them to build? Like basically a 1-page, an executive summary that you all as a product group would give to a developer to say, we want you to build this and why. And what would it include? The first question I think a developer you were hiring would ask is, well, who's going to be using this site and how do you want it to work? So those would be, does that make sense? So those are just some like ideas of how you can take these concepts Adam's introducing and turn them into a meaningful task that will move move you forward as a group. Is that helpful? Okay, you guys seem real enthused about it. I think if you would spend a little time doing this, then you would have the tools to play in Wix and develop kind of your some wireframes for what you want to do. It also allow you to tell content what you need from them. It may be that this is totally hypothetical and it probably isn't accurate, but if you surveyed 100 teenagers in Tulsa and they said, we love to read blog posts, then you go to the content committee and say, hey, we've got users saying they want to read articles about this and that, so that's what we need you to create for us. And then we're going to go to the website and figure out what is the best, what's the least complex, the most compatible way that teens can read blog posts. Does that make sense? So you've got your user is telling you what you want. You've got that informs your function, and then you just tell everybody else what to do. But start small. Start small, like what could we do that would make progress toward that this week? But would you guys like 5 minutes to talk without us here? Okay. Is Kate, could you send them to their own room so they can have a few minutes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm making the breakout room now. So just a little vamping.
I want to find out where would teens go? Where would you go if you wanted to get the similar information you get from your website? Where would you go and why? If you could find out from other teens, where would they go when they needed this or that and why? That would be a good place to start. All right.
So I put you all in breakout room 3. I don't know if you see it. You might have to go to the little breakout room icon if it's there on the corner of your screen. It looks like you guys found it though, so that's good. Okay.
I think they really needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was good.
Yeah, it was clarifying for me, actually, that, last Sunday we were like, do we need this committee anymore? And I think, in talking through it, we realized, no, we actually do. There's a lot they can be doing. So that was good.
Can you share your notes with me, Emily? Because I don't know what I missed.
Yeah,
But
I may just have to put them in a direct message to you because I literally just type them in one of those like Max sticky note thingies.
okay.
I'm not taking them in like anything fancy, but yes.
Okay,
I would
thank you.
really love it if they would come back and say that some of their to-dos are to like make a document answering these questions, build a survey, send the to me that's how my brain works. That is the next small step in clarifying all of this, but maybe they'll come up with a better way too.
When I went to partnerships, they brought up some concerns of like they don't feel that they have a firm enough grasp on what our project is to know what to ask for from partners, like to know what to look for because they don't know what they want from them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'll go talk to them if you want.
Okay. Because I didn't know what advice to give them really, because they said that they're already going to send out the executive summaries, but they don't know what they want from potential partners. So I will send you over there.
Also, Emily, before you go, how do me and Kate add things on the Notion thingy?
No. I when I sent you the link, it says, okay, hold on just a second. That you have full access, which means, oh wait, can edit and share with others.
Okay, I think I didn't log in, so hopefully this works. Because I didn't get the edit button, and I was just kind of looking at it, so I was like,
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it says you have full access, and it shows you logged in as a guest, and it says can edit and share with others. But I can, if it's during the break, or I can kind of mess with it if it's not working right. But yeah, try making a Notion account and see if that helps. Okay, I'm gonna go talk to partnerships real quick.
Awesome.
I think we're still having an. Oh, hey.
Hi.
Caleb's asking his mom for contacts right now.
Oh, cool. I was just popping over here because I think we're getting ready to go back to the main group, but Kate said that you all wanted to talk a little bit about, that you're just not sure yet, like what to talk to potential partners about.
Yeah, we were thinking that we had to ask product or PR more of what they want us to ask for, because we have a lot of lists of potential people like Laureate and Tulsa Health Department and different schools, but especially with Laureate and stuff and other mental health professionals, we don't know exactly what we're asking them for. We don't know if we're asking them to check our reviews or to help us with our reviews, or we have some ideas of what we could ask them about, but we're not completely sure what path other people want to take with it, or we don't want to ask them the wrong things. And then and then we don't know what we want in a web developer, or what the cohort wants. And we can try to find some some options.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of different areas. And then I think the video part, if we are gonna have a video, we could handle that, but it's mainly what are we reaching out for is our question.
Yeah, I think that's a normal question to have. Here's basically what I think is that right now it's just like any relationship, right? Every year that we do this with the cohort, we liken it to a dating relationship, right? We don't when you start talking to someone, you don't want to lay it all out there, right? On the first, before you even start dating, you're not going to lead with, hey, we need a partner. I'm looking for someone. So really all you're doing right now is trying to gather more information about some of these potential partners to just see like, what do they do and are they compatible? Part of it's going to be like even just making contact with a professional and seeing if that professional is even interested in YPI, right? There have been some times where maybe there's been an organization that seems like a perfect fit and they don't have like anyone that is, you know, going to click with YPI, if that makes sense, or anyone that has the bandwidth for it. Maybe they're already dating somebody else, you know, and so they don't want to date us, right? So I could see you all, rather than saying we're looking for a partner, because if you lead with that, they're going to say that immediately as a professional, they probably already have a full plate, right? So they're going to be like, do we want to partner with high school students? Because they don't know that you're amazing yet, right? So I would lead more with like, I'm part of an organization called Youth Philanthropy Initiative, and we're building a product around mental health. And it can be vague. Like, you don't have to like totally understand fully what the project is yet. You have a general idea of what you're wanting to put out there. So I think you approach potential partners, instead of saying we're looking for a partner, you say we're wanting to learn more about who else is doing this in the community and understand more about what your organization does. Could I have a call with you next week? And then you just get on the phone with a Zoom call or something with someone, like, if, I don't know, somebody from youth services or whatever, to say like, my name's Rowan and this is what my project's doing. Could you tell me what youth services does? And do you guys have a website, or how do you direct other, teens to resources when they need it? And you might find that it is a total flatline of a call, like you might, just like when you first start talking to someone that you think you might want to date, you're like, oh, no, I don't think we're compatible. Then you just rule it out kindly. And now you know. Is that helpful? Like, and in fact, not just helpful, I think it's actually super important that you don't lead with, we're looking for a partner, right? Like, you save that conversation for 2 or 3 conversations down the line. If and maybe you split the organizations up where like Meg's going to try to make contact and learn more about the United Way, and Michelle's going to try to make contact and learn more about what youth services does. And then you report back to each other, and maybe that narrows your list down to like, ooh, we had 5 conversations, 3 of them sucked, 2 of them were really interesting. And you make a kind of a gut level decision while you're in the conversation with that professional. I mean, you guys could do that. You know how to do that. You could sense right away. And if you think it's going well, you say, you know what, I'm loving what I'm hearing. I think that some of the students that I work with would love to meet you. Could I get with some people on my committee and maybe have could we have a follow-up conversation in a couple of weeks, and I'll bring some 3 of my friends to it. Does that make sense? I don't know if anyway, I'm not meaning to like tell you exactly what to do, but I think that's how you network, how you sort of figure out and find who we would work with naturally. It will probably come quicker than you think, because you'll have one little call and be like, nah. So, and I'm not sure what you meant about like web developer stuff. Were you thinking that you all would like search out a potential web developer for the actual product?
Yeah, like if like the other group wasn't doing that, then we were thinking like we would have to like find them options or something. Or like we didn't even know like if we were gonna use a web developer. We kind of assumed we would, but
Gotcha. Yeah, probably eventually. Yeah, but I think that
is later.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
for the purposes of like our timeline and stuff, you could say like, yeah, we want to focus on that in March, or I think your focus right now is to just practice making contact with professionals and try to get on the phone with a couple of them. And I know that can be kind of intimidating, but really they're probably intimidated of you all. that's the truth, is most adults are intimidated of teenagers. So
I also just talked to my mom about, because she worked in Laureate, and then now she has her own private practice. And I asked her like which groups would be the best to like reach out for youth, and I gave her all of our options, and she said that Laureate and then Youth Services of Tulsa are probably the best two because they really focus on youth and teens, whereas the other ones they really have a broad like spectrum of ages. And so she was like, if you really want to connect with those, I feel like those groups would be more open into connecting with a group like us. So
yeah, cool. Did you all talk with David Grew at Youth Services, or was that one of the other cohorts?
Need to add what changes you need to the tasks that are already up there, and anything you think the cohort should know about what you're doing right now.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know if is everyone back, Kate?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if everyone heard me, but Ria asked what we want from the committee reports, but basically we want what new tasks need to be added, what needs to be changed with the tasks that are on there, and what do you need the cohort to know about what you're doing in your committee right now.
All right. So with that, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break in between this time and committee reports. So we will see you in 5 minutes. welcome back, everybody. Everybody else start filing in. We're going to start committee reports when everybody gets back. So again, in the committee reports, kind of just go over what to-dos need to be added, what to-dos need to be changed, and what else does the cohort need to be updated on from your committee. But yeah, just as everybody comes back, we got about 5 people. Okay, so we can kind of go ahead and get started. PR, if you want to start us off, go right ahead.
Okay, so we finished the executive summary, so that can be taken off. And I'll put the link to that in the chat. And then I'll also put that on Basecamp. So you guys can comment on it, and so we can make revisions if we need to. And then also we need to change the established set of fonts for the brand guide thing on Notion to finalize color scheme, font, and logo. And we're also started working on our draft of our PR packet, so we're finishing that up. And then we also decided on the color scheme. And I can also put that on Basecamp too, to make sure everyone likes it and is good with it. So yeah, that's about it.
Ria, what did you say needed to be added again?
So there's a to-do list checklist thing called established set of fonts for a brand guide.
Uh-huh.
And then, so we need to change that to finalize color scheme, font, and logo.
Sorry to ask another question, but what did you say was finishing the draft of, it was something to do with a logo maybe?
Well, we're finishing the draft of our PR packet.
That's it.
Yeah,
thank you.
I can send you like a separate message so you get everything.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if partnerships you want to share next.
Yeah, so basically we found, I think on our to-dos was like finding partners, and we did that. Then to add to to-dos is begin emailing and having calls with potential partners. And basically what we did today was figuring out how we're gonna message people and what we're gonna look for in potential partners. And like I said earlier, we're going to start emailing them and then having calls with them and seeing if they're fit for our project and working with us, and also forming more connections.
Hey, and I just want to share one thing, because partnerships did a really great thing, and I know all the committees have done this, but they were like had some questions about like, how do we approach potential partners? We're not sure what to say. And so you know what they did? They asked for help. Isn't that brilliant? It was brilliant. So we just had a little chat, and I think it's good for, I'm going to give you the tiny abridged version of what they heard me say, because I think it's helpful for everybody, for you all in learning how to communicate with other people, other professionals. But I said, and we've said this before, to treat it sort of like a potential new friendship or potential new dating relationship, right? The first time you contact somebody, you don't say, hey, do you want to get married, right? You just like want to have a conversation and learn a little bit more about them. And that's, so we talked about not leading with, we're looking for a potential partner, but leading with, I'd love to learn more about what you do and tell you what we do to see if we're, and I said, you might find out in those conversations that they're already dating somebody else, or they've been burned in the past and they're not ready for a new relationship, or they're really open and you're in the same place. And so what should you do? Have a second conversation where they meet your friends, AKA your other committee members, and let them kind of vet them. And anyway, does that make sense? Kind of the process. That's how Adam hired me for YPI, right?
And look, that's my dating advice, and it's the wonders it's done in my life.
Partnership. For clarification. Okay, I just wanted everybody to hear that because I think it's helpful and they're on the right track.
Yeah, you guys, I want to say this, by the way, what Emily's pointing out. The only difference between Emily and I and you all is experience. We are not smarter than you. Emily may be. I know I'm not. I am not. I just have more experience. So use that, whenever you're not expected to have the experience. Like what Emily just described is the kind of thing you don't learn. You don't come into the world knowing how to do that. You have to learn. So, and it comes through experience. So we have a lot of it and we can expedite you. That's really, if I could summarize what YPI is to me in part, is it's meant to help. This is meant to accelerate you all. This is an accelerator. This is meant to accelerate you through the learning curve and through the maturation curve in some ways as well, and to get you ready faster, sooner, so you can be better at it and enjoy it more and do more good. That's the philanthropy part of it. So I'll turn it over.
Awesome. So the next thing is product, if you want to update us.
Okay, so we met with Adam and Emily, and basically they kind of like opened up our eyes a little bit more on this project, because they were like, take a step back, like, what is the project? Who are you like getting this project to? And then we met separately, like with just like our committee, and we were talking and we're like, we really think we need to like reevaluate who this is going to, because we're like, teens today in this day and age, we need to have like more features that are going to be better and more eye-catching, because in this day and age, teens aren't going to go and type in a URL and like go through and read about a bunch of resources that can help them. We think like, yes, that is good and that is something we need to have, but that can't be the whole project. Like, we need to have more things that are going to be able to like connect teens to the website. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, it's not going to be like be able to like live up to its full potential. Like, we think we can do more with it instead of just like having like links to different resources. So
Are there any thoughts on that? Oh, go ahead, Emily.
I was gonna see, could some of you from that committee share then what are some of the like action steps you can take now?
Well, so I guess this isn't necessarily something that we could do right now because our project isn't finished yet. But like one of the things that we briefly talked about was just having maybe like different social media pages that had information about our website and how to get to the website, because we're going to have to figure out some way of advertising this to a broad group of teenagers. And since literally every single one of us use social media, that would be a great way of doing that. But that was just something that we talked about whenever we met just as our committee.
there any thoughts of that, of like kind of expanding what Kate was saying? And this can be anyone.
I agree with her. Like, she is right. Like, teens aren't just gonna go and look at links, really. Like, we need it to be more interactive. I agree with her.
And I definitely agree. And I think like it'd be really cool if our website, because I know like a lot of us wanted an app because like it could have cool, like engaging functions. And I think this could open up the possibility of maybe like even having, I'm not sure if they were talking about a website, but maybe like a website with like app functions, if that makes sense. Like I just really like how they're trying to make it even more unique and trying to differentiate it from like, I guess, an educational sort of website, because they're right, like teenagers will like want to read a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Any other thoughts on that? I think that was a really good point brought up by Kate and the product committee. Okay, moving on to content.
Okay, so for a to-do list, right now we're just trying to finalize like the review process and like setting up our like templates and stuff. And I'm just going to screen share really quick our Miro, because our Miro board, because last SPS we like gave a lot of assignments to everyone, and like I think we got a lot done this week. And basically just really quickly, Saria did a really good job, and she like kind of did a sample review of like an actual product, like we were talking about last SPS, because we were looking into the possibility of that. And then Haley was in charge of like coming up for ideas for like different tags and categories. And she like has this really cool like sticky note set up, and like it has like it's like organized by color. And then she also brought up a really good idea for like how we could even have like different mediums, and like some of that maybe like a written article or like an audio review or a video review or like an infographic, which is kind of what like Saria had. She had like an infographic, and we just like were coming up with different mediums in which we can review things. And then Diani came up with kind of like a basic template we should base our like written reviews off of, so that it's like more concise. And then I was in charge of like implementing like a discover and research service like process, just to make things more efficient.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, that looks great, guys. Thank you. That's amazing. And yeah, definitely. I think I sent it in the chat, but yeah, of all the committees except PR, I got PRs, but if all the other committees could send me on their own Basecamp, what needs to be added and what needs to be changed on the to-do list, because I couldn't get everything. I was trying to like listen at the same time. But yeah, if everyone could, each committee could do that by the end of the meeting, that'd be great, so I can make the edits. But yeah, that looks really good, guys. I think we're going to make some serious progress. And yeah, are there any comments based on what you heard from all the committees, or questions for other committees?
Adam and I are just having a teeny bit of side chat, the two of us. But I think maybe first, let's just flag this for on Sunday, but let's have product and content meet together for a little bit on Sunday, just to have like some more like clarifying of what each group is doing. Because like the stuff that we were just seeing that Kayla was just sharing that content did is really great. But I actually think it kind of falls under a lot, like just like the medium stuff is kind of falling under what product should be doing. Does that make sense? So we just need to get some clarity on who's doing what, so we don't duplicate, so we don't, people don't feel territorial. That's totally not what we're about. So we just need to have another conversation about it.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's great. We'll definitely do that. Well, I guess we're moving on to me and Kate's personal favorite of the entire agenda, which we've been extremely excited about, which is an escape room. We're not going to give that much instruction because all the instruction is on the escape room itself. But you guys will be in groups of 5, and you can have 30 minutes to escape the room. And I'll send the link, but yeah, you have 30 minutes, and there'll be a countdown. And each group gets 3 ask for helps. So if you get stuck on something, you can click ask for help, and we'll come in there for a bit to help you out. But each group only gets 3, so use it wisely. I will give you a side note. Sometimes case matters, like the case of the letters matter. So watch that. But yeah, have fun, guys. Here's the link. And yeah, so first, as soon as you finish, like once you unlock the room, you can come back to the main room. And the first team that gets back wins. And it is difficult. It's really fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Are there any questions before we send you out? And all the instructions are on the escape room itself.
And just to know, if you need help, if you like desperately need help, you're stuck on a question, you can ask us.
Click the ask for help button and we'll be over there. But remember, you only get 3 ask for helps, so use it wisely.
Well, if you don't have any questions, we will send you out. Okay.
Have fun, guys, and good luck.
Good luck.
I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun for us. That I hope they have as much fun.
I would love it if there would be a way to capture some of that on video. I don't know if anybody could do that, but just see the group go through the experience would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would have to hop around to each of the individual groups and be recording. I don't really want to do that if I'm being.
No, that's all right. All right. Well, if it's a success, then if we ever do it again, we'll videotape it. Okay. They're doing fantastic. And the reason, why is it going so well, do you think? And you guys, let me say me. I get embarrassed every time. What else?
I think mostly because we kind of decided our focus and all of that at the beginning of the meeting, and we kind of came to a consensus. We didn't leave from that task until we came to a consensus with the entire cohort. So I think that helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the cohort's doing great today. I know we had a good plan, for reconnection. That was our main focus. But they're doing great. They've made a lot of progress. Watching content, looking at their Miro board was exciting because it was so colorful, but it was also a lot of progress.
So I would say one of the reasons for success is you started it off in an engaging way. I mean, Kahoots didn't ask them for a lot. It was just to have fun. And then, without even knowing it, they're in the flow. And so it was good. So I would say keep up stuff like that. And then, yeah, you're layering things nicely. Like right now, after doing great work, they get to do something fun. Hopefully they view it that way and experience it that way. And yeah.
Yeah, I sincerely hope they like this. If not,
Yeah.
that will be funny because it's a strange one.
It's definitely strange.
How did you all find out about this?
So we were
Yeah.
trying to figure out like a team building activity, and I saw a couple of places like virtual escape rooms, but I couldn't find a free virtual escape room. So I started like digging around, and I found out that this library just made like tons of like free escape rooms. And like most of them were super random and like for little kids. So I like found this one that was a little bit harder. So I hope like it's good.
All right, let me ask a question. All right. Is it possible to create a leadership escape room or something around our YPI principle, like, our Strengths Finder escape room?
I'm
Yeah.
sure there would be. Yeah.
Because we
'Cause
can
this
use like
is-
Google Forms to make it. Like this escape room is a Google form.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should I
you
just
have to-
do it? All right, let me just. Okay. You and your.
Yeah, you can start doing that. Oh, you know what was cool? My brother, he's in some leadership organization at OU, and he had to take a Strengths Finder test, and now all three of us have taken it. That was unrelated,
Cool.
but that made me think of it. But I think the funniest thing about this breakout, like in this escape room, is that it starts off with Russian. You have to translate Russian and then solve a riddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little
Right.
strange.
Good thing I was trained to speak Russian from a very early age. Also, I was exposed to many forms of poisons so that my body built up natural resistances.
Ooh. Which Marvel character are you?
I don't know.
Is the
Just,
princess? Remind me of the Princess Bride.
Hey guys, I do want to okay, this isn't fun, this is still work related, sorry. I want to make sure that on Sunday we lead with pulling up this timeline, you all, and saying, okay, here are the to-dos, and you all really model utilizing this every time for them. And if you and we'll help you with that if you're getting comfortable with the app or have questions, or if people are not being responsive about putting those to-dos in. But I think this could be a really great tool, but they will forget about it if we don't put it in front of them every time.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Emily or go ahead, finish your flow. Sorry.
Well, the only other flow was just that I was kind of expecting product to say that some of their to-dos were to create a doc that answers these questions or to build a survey, and they didn't say any of that. So I just they don't have to do that, but they didn't say anything to me that sort of felt like it was fruit of the conversation, other than the good idea of backing up. And then Adam was pointing out that the cool stuff that content did is actually sort of product design, so we need to and if they're energized by that, that's awesome. We need to find a way, that's why I said to get them together, to clarify roles without squelching the energy that's seeing that progress created. Does that make sense? So that's all I was going to say, Adam.
Yeah, good. And I think a way to do that is to expand, or I would say, that sounded weird. It sounded chimpanzee-ish, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
So what the translation in human is that maybe the project as it currently stands is not its final form. Maybe there's other layers of the project. And I started accidentally stumbling onto it when I was describing to the product committee, is the project just to have a website and then hope people stumble across it? And I think what it needs an advocacy, or it needs an envoy. It needs a hype person, It needs a Flavor Flav. Do you know what I mean? Just someone to stand there with the big clock going, yeah, boy. Just to bring attention. You might not know the history of that rap group, or who Flavor Flav is, and you shouldn't, and don't worry about it. But he's a hype man. And so, you know, maybe what the project needs is somebody to accompany it, to go into the classrooms and do a tour, to partner with schools to say, hey, we want to make your students aware of mental awareness, mental health, and, or if, you know, and that might be changing the flavor of the project. Maybe we have to really decide if we're staying with discuss the undiscussables, or if the project has morphed from that. I'm still not clear, because we started with discuss the undiscussables, and we could have said mental health if we wanted to, but we didn't. So what's the distinction? And I want to make sure we're not mission creeping. And I think we are. When we were talking about them, like, I think we all have a general concept of what we're looking for, but we haven't locked it in, and it doesn't have its form. And I think once we do have that, then the roles will become clearer too.
Yeah,
right now it's hard to tell what product is and what website is, and you know, I get why it's difficult, and but that's how things grow. They start off as like lumpy, indistinguishable things, and then you give it shape and form, and that's how all life is.
Yeah.
It really is that way. I was telling Emily I was standing on half a bowling ball all meeting, you know, so that's what I've been doing. So I'm standing on this thing, and it's like a balancing. Anyway, if you're wondering why I'm doing that. So what do you guys think of that, for the, like, anything about that regarding the project and how it's relating to today?
I think, okay, product did make a document. Oh, hi.
We won.
You did. Oh my gosh. So are we ready for the project?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you? Well, oh, I see. Look at who's on the team. Jeez, no wonder. Brainiacs.
Took me and Kate like an hour.
Leah's gonna win all the games today, or no.
That's my goal. That's my goal.
That's a big goal.
Well, how did you do it so fast? For reals? How did you do it?
We just did the questions.
Did we win? Yes.
We won.
Yay.
Wish
How's
you
everyone
too
coming
late.
back so fast? Kate, are we just bad at escape rooms?
No, we're just calibrating. We've got very smart critters. We've got to up the difficulty levels.
We'll just say we had less people when we did it, but
was it easy?
no,
or
it's
was
so
it
impressive.
challenging, or what? Was it challenging?
Easy. No offense, Ria. Sorry.
Why? What did you do to succeed? What made it easy? How'd you do it?
We
guessed
the questions.
Working
guess? Is that
together.
it?
We guessed
Oh,
on
that's
one
not-
question because we couldn't find the maples in one.
So you didn't succeed. You cheated.
Yeah, and then I found it, and it was like covered with trees, and
Maples
it was
Inn
green, but there was
sketchy.
also red.
Maples Inn looked sketchy, but it wasn't. Never mind. Never mind.
I think you need to go back in the escape room. Put him back. Put him back.
We finished. We found it. It was green. It just took a minute.
Yeah. Dang, this one took us a while when we did it.
It took us like a good hour.
Good team workers.
All right, you know what? I'm committing to helping you to devise an even trickier one for next time, or you know.
For you Stranger Things fans out there, did you like it?
Yeah, Saria said she liked having the theme in there in chat.
Oh, I see that now. Awesome.
We have what, 3 teams back?
I can't believe you guys did this so quickly.
Oh, it took us forever on the first question. Like, we had the right answer, but we kept typing it in wrong.
Okay, what is the right answer on the first one? I'm trying to do it.
It's eyes.
Eyes.
Oh, but it's case sensitive? Is that it?
Yeah, so it was case sensitive, and we kept typing in I. And like we were trying to like, and then we figured out it was eyes, and then it took us like a little while to like figure out the case sensitive one. So
I don't know if you guys can see it, but the lamp, there's a lamp right here, and it just keeps shutting off and on. I'm just sitting here are my hands, and it's just shutting. It's not flickering. It's like someone is turning it off and on.
oh.
I think you have a ghost.
Guys. No. Okay. Just watch it. Just hold on. I didn't do it. What is going on?
Normal activity.
I'm not.
This would be the moment that I run out of the house.
Wait, look out behind you. There's some movement outside that door.
If I was here alone, there are other people here. That's weird. Thank you. I have to text my husband real quick.
At that point, I would burn my house down and move out.
You know, it's funny that there's still one breakout room. They're still doing the escape room.
You know what? Maybe you all of you go into a separate room, and then we'll make them think they were first. Oh, too late.
It's not too late. They're all still in there.
I'm just kidding.
Watch them try to use the whole 30 minutes. So.
I was so convinced that we were the first group. I was like, we did that so fast. And then I came back in and I was like, oh. And I got really sad.
Well, that's probably because you probably actually did the stuff. You didn't just guess. Not saying that anybody else just guessed, because that's not what I'm saying.
We didn't guess, okay? And in escape rooms, you guess.
Okay,
Like,
that's
how do you know
true.
if
You
the
know
right
what?
answer is eyes? You're guessing.
Guessing is legit. You're right. It's right.
I like that, Krish. Deductive reasoning. That's a very
Deductive reasoning. Krish, we're not in school right now for a reason. Half a day. I'm just kidding.
It doesn't end, y'all. School does not end. I'm just here to tell you. I've done everything I can to end school for me, and it's still there. I've done really well, though, but.
I disagree. Well, okay, learning doesn't stop, but unnecessary homework and studying does, and you have that to look for. Truly. If you have adults that are like, just wait till you get a job. I remember being like, no, you don't have to do homework all Sunday afternoon. Or when I was in college studying all Sunday, I don't do that anymore. I mean, I do get on these calls, but it's enjoyable. And anyway,
But she's only saying that because she has the best job in the world and the best boss ever.
I do. I really do. But truly.
No, I want to say, guys, it could be as Emily says, but not necessarily. Think about it. There's some jobs like if you take that job, you got to take what comes with it. You cannot pick up one end of the stick without getting the other end of the stick, right? So let's say you're like, I want to be a prison guard. Poof, you now spend half your life in prison. You do. At least you get paid to be there, but you're not popular. Let's just get clear on that. All right. I mean, you want to think about, well, do I want to be doing that every day? Here's how I would be thinking about it. What is it that when I do it feels like payment? I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping people get healthier as a doctor. I enjoy, talking and telling stories or whatever. I'll be a newscaster, I mean, or YPI coach. No, I mean, but like find out what you enjoy and try to build around that so that the work you do is the pay. And then I think it's going to be more like what Emily says. But otherwise, you're going to need a really good escape room. If you get into a career that's like you don't enjoy what comes with it, what you do this, what comes with the rest of it, should be good, worth investigating.
Yes. Even the practical stuff, like, is it a type of profession that's going to be, shift work? Is it retail where I'm always going to be, I own my own business, so I'm always open on Saturdays? Is it like, I need structure, I don't want to work for myself? Those are the things you think about. Like, when I used to work at the hospital, I had to clock in and clock out, which I had never had to do before as a social worker. I kind of like either made my own hours or booked my own appointments. And I despised clocking in and clocking out. That meant if I needed to leave to run an errand, I had to make that time up. And so I've logged that in my brain. I will never have a job again where I have to clock in and out. If I can avoid it, I'll do it. So it's like random things you wouldn't know, but they're important. What if you were in a job, thankfully I have a degree in a profession that allows me to find other things I can do where I don't have to clock in and out. But some people don't have that.
That's why you need experience, and that's going to tell you what you like and don't like. And you could ask people with experience who, will tell you the truth of what it's like and what it's not like. But yeah, this is good for you all to be hearing now. We can leave it there. We're just sneaking in a little life lesson. We don't get to do that often anymore. But yeah, trust us on this one, y'all. And talk about it with us anytime. It's an important one.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love the life lesson.
First off, how'd you guys finish so fast? It took me and Kate almost an hour.
It took us a while.
It took us a while. So how was your experience with working? I don't know, but is this everyone's like first virtual escape room? Some said no, some said yeah. How'd you like the experience of like working, not being next to each other, touching stuff? Like I know escape rooms are usually like, oh, you like open the door and like you like can touch the clues or whatever. How'd you feel like working with your team remotely, not being able to like physically be there with them and working through that escape room?
It was still fun, and I liked that it was like different, where like they had like a Google Maps thing and like a like what's it called, the like you Google translated the Russian so that it felt like more like you were searching for things online.
Mm-hmm. Would you guys want to do like another escape room of some sort, or how'd you guys like this activity? Was it too easy? Oh, come on.
Okay.
Okay, at least now we kind of know. We weren't sure. We like found a few. I'm really glad that we didn't choose the fish one. There was like a fish one about this like fish named Oscar, and it's like trying to like escape like the aquarium. And we were like going through it and we were like, okay, this is too easy. And so we found this one was a little harder, but apparently it was still easy, but it's all good. Now we know. But yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the activity. We wanted to try something a little bit different. But yeah, if we can go ahead and take another break, and instead of small change to the agenda, I know some committees wanted to kind of have more committee time. So we'll come back, have our discussion, and then instead of next steps, we're going to send you guys back into your committee so you have a little bit more time. But yeah, so we'll see you guys back in 5 minutes.
welcome back. I see everybody's coming back, which is good because we will jump right into our discussion questions when everybody gets back. Welcome, Veranda. Hello. Yeah, just an update. We're just going to move into discussion questions. So the discussion questions for today are what did you learn from 2020? What do you want to take with you into 2021? What would you like to leave behind? How do you feel going into 2021? And then do you have any New Year's resolutions? If so, please explain them. We just want to give everybody this time to talk to each other and just maybe find common ground in their answers. Don't feel like your answers have to match anybody else's. Be honest and just share. That's what the time is for. And I will put the question into the breakout room chat. So, and Ria just put it in our chat. So do you have any questions before we go? Nope, then I will send everybody on their way to their room. See you in about 15 minutes. But means of the breakout room, ours was great. People were really vulnerable, which was nice and comforting because, I mean, that energy just like, it was contagious. So we all kind of were.
I feel like it was really validating because even if we weren't all the same, like we didn't have the exact same answers, we were still like understanding. We're like, yeah, that makes sense. That obviously, yeah, no, it's not stupid. That makes total sense. So it was really nice.
What are some answers that you kind of heard repetitively in your like breakout rooms?
There was a lot about like motivation issues from the past semester and just like trying to stay productive and not get distracted as easily. Because I know for me, that was a huge issue. Like I felt like I wasn't learning anything. So I really had to take it upon myself to teach the things that I was going to get tested on because I was so unmotivated the entire semester. So a lot of us were saying how we're trying to keep ourselves more motivated in 2021 so we can make a more productive year.
There was a lot of like being kinder to ourselves in my group because apparently a lot of us were like had toxic mindsets and just didn't like treat ourselves with the kindness that we deserve to give ourselves. So that's what a lot of people said in my group.
I love that. That's awesome. I have a question that I think you probably answered, but I'm tweaking it a little bit. And that is, does anybody have any rhythms that they developed in the last 6 months that they want to carry into the new year? Any new, like any rhythms that are new since COVID that you want to continue?
I don't know if this is like a rhythm, but I did mention in our discussion how like after like procrastinating so much, I've developed like and learned better study habits over distance learning. So I want to like carry that into 2021.
Yeah, awesome. Carolyn, to answer your question, like a rhythm can be kind of anything. It can be a new habit, a new routine. It could also maybe be like a new mindset, like Ashlyn was talking about, or it's purposely vague.
From our breakout room, sorry.
No, go ahead.
From our breakout room, we were kind of talking about how we all kind of got better at time management. And then a couple of us were talking about how we're like our goals and we've kind of started is to like stop comparing ourselves to other people. So like getting rid of the comparative mindset.
I kind of talked a little bit about this in our group. I was saying that like I wanted to be happier in a way, like just happier with myself, put myself in a good mood, and dressing well for the day helped a lot with that. Just like kind of like seeing my reflection as I'm walking by, I'm like, nice. But like that's kind of become a rhythm. I'll like wake up in the morning, get dressed, and I look at myself, check myself out a little bit. Like just puts you in a good mindset. Thanks, Meg.
That's awesome.
Like a rhythm that I've like developed. I've started like building on my morning routine. So it started from something that was like 15 minutes and now it's like 2 hours. But just like not going on my phone for the first like 2 hours of the day and like deciding for myself what the day is going to be like before I let myself be influenced by the other people in my house or like the outside world and the media, so that by the time I see like everything going on around me, I'm already so strong and like having a good day and being in a positive mindset that like I can influence the world instead of the world influencing me, if that makes sense. But I feel like just a little like morning routine, the rhythm has kind of like helped me to like get in that headspace every day.
I didn't know if this counts as a rhythm, but like knowing, going throughout the day and like knowing what my limit is, and I don't mean this in like study, like just in general, like trying not to over push myself in places where like you don't need to. Like I'm not talking about like potential wise and stuff, but like a limit to trying to like make sure that I'm okay before like pushing myself and like trying to do everything that I can when I just need to slow down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would say for me, personally, it's been working out more than I had been, especially for soccer, and being invited to soccer ID camps. And so I've been doing it like every other day, where I do meditation for 15, 20 minutes one day, and then I go for a run. And then the next day I'll do like a short little workout for soccer. And I do that every day to like, usually I do it when I wake up. And then I've also been taking cold showers in the morning, to kind of revitalize like the energy. So.
That's awesome.
I
This is great, guys. Yeah, keep talking.
Sorry. I really relate to what Meg said, just because I have a really big problem with like saying no to things. Like I try to put too much on my plate, and then because I always feel bad when I say no to people when they ask me to do something. So I feel like I try and cram as much as I can, and then I end up stressing myself out to the point where I get none of it done, and then I just feel really bad about myself. So it's like nice to hear that someone's going through that too.
Yeah, I've also kind of been doing like what Caleb does. At night, I try to make sure that I'm doing my like drills for palm and that like I stretch, because flexibility is important. And also, I'm trying to get better back flexibility because right now it sucks and I don't like need it for palm, but it's just like it would be cool if I could do a scorpion. I don't think that that's going to happen in a year, but I've been like stretching at night and stuff after I take a hot shower so that my muscles are warm.
I have also been, like what Caleb and Ashlyn both have been saying, I've just been trying to stay as active as possible, because one of the great things about distance learning is we're on this weird schedule where we have these awkward amounts of time in between classes. We have like an hour and a half between classes. And so I just use that opportunity to try to do something where I'm moving around or get out of the room that I've been in for the day, just to kind of reset my mindset a little bit. And it also helps me stay positive throughout the rest of the day. And it just keeps me moving, keeps me active. So.
I think it's impressive that all of us have found like such like diverse ways of kind of dealing with quarantine, and like not necessarily like enjoying it, but making the most out of it. I think it's just cool to see like how everybody's done it and how everybody's kind of like changed.
Yeah, I love it. I love it also because answering that question, even just articulating, here's a rhythm I've established is you're reinforcing it just by talking about it. Your brain just like, chiseled that little neural pathway to say, this makes me feel good to not look at my phone for 2 hours, or this makes me feel good to do stretching in the evening. And what you're doing is just framing some positive things that have come out of the weirdest time in our lives. So you guys are awesome.
I wanted to follow up on that too. As I was listening to you all, I was thinking, oh, this is actually better than the way things were before. I mean, that someone is going to go inward first, kind of decide how they want to live their life or spend their day, or what would help them feel that they're approaching the day from a position of strength or calm. And so I actually think this is a better way to live than how many followers do you have, and I don't know all the stuff that everybody was doing before this. I like this deliberative stuff that you guys are into, this mindfulness.
Yeah, really cool. It's also giving me some content for, so Adam and I want to record a couple of like kind of leadership and self-development lessons for you all that we'll post. And if anybody wants to participate in them for the recording, we can. But I wrote down 2 different things that like you all prompted me, like, oh, we need to do a lesson on that. Ooh, we need to do a lesson on that. So it's helpful. Okay.
Awesome.
Just a quick show of hands, like don't do it for our feelings, because Emily and I we're just going to do it by ourselves anyway. But would any of you actually want to be part of a live filmed audience, like a Zoom thing, not like sitting in a room, but like I know, right? All right, think about it.
Wait, do you mean participate in the discussion? Like we would add to it, like with knowledge? Okay.
It'd be like a live lesson, and you guys would be there, and then we'd be facilitating it and probably have some discussion questions, and hopefully you don't say anything obnoxious or say any swear words. And then, yeah, it should be all right.
Okay.
We don't need you, so fine. You don't come to our party. It's gonna be awesome anyway.
I can send out like something in Basecamp that will collect the vote.
See, Meg's gonna do it. It's gonna be me, Adam, and Meg.
That's it. Nobody else is allowed to come unless you really want to. All right.
No, I think what we should do is when Adam and I clarify like some of the like topics, then we'll just post it and say, hey, this Thursday, we're going to record a lesson for 45 minutes if anybody wants to participate. The topic is the Enneagram or boundaries or rhythms or whatever. And then if it interests you and you're free and you want to hop on, you can.
Anybody want to take any guesses at what's on Emily's list of topics so far?
Introspection.
Enneagram and
actually what I think I'm gonna do next is boundaries. I wrote that down when Rhea was talking, because you guys were actually talking about Rhea and Meg, when you guys were mentioning limits, that's actually boundaries. We think of boundaries in like a like from the psychology standpoint of like having boundaries with an unhealthy person, that is also boundaries, but boundaries is actually like way more complicated than that. It's way more like, what boundaries do I set for my own personal health, and how do I say no, and how do I let people in? And anyway.
What do you guys think of a topic like that? Good? Yeah? All right. See, because my topic was going to be how to get anything you want immediately without having to work for it. Who has to be there for mine? Right? All right, go ahead. Somebody was going to say something actually relevant. Go ahead.
My dog started barking, but I think that topic is really relatable, especially how Rhea phrased it about like not being able to say no. Like I've heard that so much and so often, especially over like quarantine, because everyone's like taking on so much more on their plate.
Yeah. Cool. I'll work on it. TBD.
Really great, guys. I'm glad we had this conversation, and it went places where we did not even imagine it would go. So this was really fun.
I I
we're
actually have a
kind
question
of.
on that. I'm sorry. I
Oh
know
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
interrupting. This one's serious though. So as you guys were talking about that, I mean, what are the resources available to you all in regards to the things you were talking about, the quarantine adjustments and all of that? Like, I mean, here you are trying to come up with a way to help teens with mental health, and just without, that wasn't planned at all, but we were just, hey, how are you guys dealing with stuff? And what you were doing sounds like, you know, it's an important thing. All of you are individually finding your own ways. And I'm wondering if that's a need that isn't getting addressed, but I don't know. You tell moi. That's French.
I don't know about everybody, but I don't think there is a place like this that's like a good community, because like you have to kind of establish a community to build trust for people so that they feel safe enough to share things like this, to like be this vulnerable. So I think there's a lack of this type of connection with other peers that are outside of like our like close friends at school, because we don't see other people.
Right, why not just start a conversation and model it for people? Here you are, 25 people. You all are weirdos in your own way. I mean, you're unique individuals. And so, I know. So, but here you are, you found a way that you can trust each other to talk about these things, find out you have some commonalities, you know, realize that you guys have developed some really amazingly like healthy strategies. I'm super impressed. And yeah, I mean, and helping other people find that might be a need. See, I want to say, talking about mental health, it's an important issue. It's just, that's been around for a long time. But to talk about quarantine and how it's impacting us and strategies for, you know, making this an advantage, that's pretty cool. And I don't know how many people I don't know who'd be, you know, who's off to the blocks faster than you on this topic or could do it better. You're an organized group of cohesive individuals who, you know, you're already on this general topic. I'm not trying to change things up. I'm just asking, what do you guys think as I say all that?
I think that in terms of resources, quarantine and like the pandemic in general has really forced everyone to have to use themselves as a resource. And sometimes you're not used to that. But like I heard that there were some people that were making like writing down like gratitude notes, like every day they'd say like, oh, this happened today. I'm really glad that it happened. Or they'll take the week and be like, okay, this was the best thing that happened to me this week. And they can reference that later on and make themselves happy by using themselves. So I think that quarantine has definitely made everyone else have to force themselves into becoming a resource for themselves because there's not a lot of known outlets like we said before.
Anyone else? I definitely agree with Miranda. Like being virtual has kind of, even though I was barely virtual, like we were virtual for like a few weeks here and there, like a month or so. But so compared to like the rest of the Booker T kids, like that's nothing. But even during that time, it kind of forced me to like rely mainly on myself, which was something that I wasn't entirely used to. And I guess it kind of built a skill in a way, because I need someone to show me what I need to do, and not being able to have that kind of forced me to teach myself to like and train myself to like, okay, you're gonna have to figure it out like you would in college. So I'm trying to think of it positively.
Yeah, this school year, at least for the TPS and anybody that's done distance, it's they've taught us how to teach ourselves. So I think it's a positive if you look at it the right way.
We're kind of getting close to time. Yes, self-reliance, definitely, Ashlyn. We definitely learned a lot of that. But yeah, we can kind of move into plus delta. Sorry we couldn't like edge in a little bit more committee time, but we'll have Sunday. And another reminder, we actually have another monthly meeting next Friday in the afternoon. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Look at me remembering. But yeah, we do have another monthly meeting next Friday in the afternoon, and we'll have a Sunday progress session. So we'll see you guys on Sunday. But yeah, let's go through some plus deltas. So any pluses, feel free to unmute or drop it in the chat.
I really liked the vulnerability circle today and like the topics.
Yeah, our discussions were good, and the Kahoot was really fun.
I feel like we really nailed like the reconnection focus, because I feel like that's what this meeting, like, I feel like that happened a lot this meeting.
I felt like it was more like chill, like, and that's like it's nice to have like a little bit of meetings that are like more like we're not so focused on like making progress on our project. It was kind of nice to have like a little break and like ease into things slowly.
I like what Chris said. I felt like I agree that like I think we had some productive or we got more direction for some of the committees, but we yeah, a delta for me too is that we didn't have maybe enough time in committee to expand on that. Yeah. But keep in mind that I think what we did is actually really set us up to have a really focused time on Sunday. Now we can jump right in and we know what we need to do.
Also, I really appreciate that, like, longing for, oh, we could have been more productive. So I just want to offer too that there's ways that you can make individual progress if you want to assign tasks. There's ways to stay in communication between meetings if you want to kind of asynchronously talk about progress. Or if you even wanted to get together and say, hey, let's get together for a quick Zoom chat or conference call, that'll help you be less lonely during a quarantine and less sad. So think about it.
Any last pluses or deltas?
Well, we'll definitely try to build in more work time and discussion time the next time. We kind of we weren't really sure where things were gonna go, so we couldn't like plan for it as much. So now we know. Now we know you guys are master escape roomers, so we know that too. But yeah, we have our Sunday progress session and a Friday meeting next week in the afternoon. So we will see you guys then. Have a good day. And yeah, let us know if you need anything. And all the committees, if you could send me your to-dos and what needs to be changed on Notion on your Basecamp, I can update that. But yeah, have a good day, guys. Bye.
Great meeting today. Bye, guys.